Hi, it's Crystal here, Nature Inspired Relationship Coach, and today I want to talk to you about breathing and why breathing is so important in your relationship. And before I do that, I want you to cast your mind back to the last time you entered a wood or a forest and just think about how you felt. Because for me, being in a wood or a forest is one of my most favourite places on earth. I really enjoy the darkness inside a wood or a forest. There's less available light, so somehow I feel held. I love the fact it seems a lot quieter inside a wood or a forest because it blocks out all of the outside world and all the outside noise. And actually it can mean that you're more present inside the forest because everything inside the forest is amplified, so you can hear a twig break, you can hear every rustle of every tree, and you can wonder what other animals are inside the forest with you. But one of the things I enjoy the most about being in a wood or a forest is the air quality, because it feels so much purer, so much cleaner, and there's more available oxygen, which means you can really breathe deeply much more easily. And the reason that's really important is because I think so many of us don't really take the time to breathe properly. I think we spend a lot of time hunched over our computers or sitting in our cars and or sitting on public transport, and I don't think our postures allow us to breathe and inhale as deeply as we really should. Also, when we're under stress and pressure, we tend to breathe with more shallow breaths. So we're not really breathing in deeply using our diaphragms. And also, I think when we're stressed and under pressure, we often hold our breath. So again, we're not really breathing in all the available oxygen. And it's so important for us in terms of our health to be able to breathe in more oxygen, because we need to distribute that to our brains and to our limbs and to all of our internal organs to ensure that we've got a healthy oxygen supply, so that we can keep working, we can keep being healthy, we can keep our minds sharp, and we can feel well, basically. When we breathe in more shallow ways, we tend to go into fight or flight mode. So fight or flight mode is that very primitive mode that we go into, which is based on our own survival. So when we're in fight or flight mode, we are really designed to either fight or run away. So it's about the way we perceive danger. So when we're constantly breathing in more shallow ways, it can actually start to trigger a stress response, which can start to trigger that fight or flight. And so that's how breathing can actually really influence stress. And of course, the more stressed we get, the more shallow we breathe. So it has a knock-on effect. And I believe in a relationship, when you enter into conflict and you're expecting things to escalate into an argument, or you're not expecting the conflict to go well, you can go in there already feeling tense. And when you feel tense, you start to breathe more shallow breaths. Also, when things start to become more emotionally aroused, we can hold our breath, we can breathe in more shallow ways, and we go into that fight or flight mode. And that's where things escalate into arguments, because being in fight or flight survival mode is the worst place we want to be if we really want to resolve conflict with our partner in a healthy way. Because when we are in fight or flight mode and we're purely driven by our emotions and our survival instinct, then we can't think rationally. That part of our brain actually switches off. All the executive decision making, all the rational thoughts, gone. So you go into black and white thinking, where you believe you're right, you believe your partner's wrong, and they go into exactly the same mode. So it's impossible to resolve anything compassionately, effectively, respectfully when you're actually in fight or flight mode. So breathing is actually really key, not only in managing our conflict with our partner, but in terms of our everyday stresses and strains, because the minute you start to feel that you're becoming anxious or that conflict is escalating, the thing that you really need to do, this is one thing that you can do that can actually transform the communication in your relationship. The first thing you need to do is go elsewhere. The second thing you need to do is to just take some time to breathe and take some really deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Really take time to breathe. Imagine you're in a forest and you have abundant oxygen available to you. Breathe in really deeply, and that will really calm you down. And that's something I advise all couples to do when they're worried about stress, when they're worried about conflict. If you really just take the time to breathe, what you'll notice is you come out of that fight or flight mode, you become more at one with yourself, and you're in a much better place from where to communicate with your partner. So I really want you to try it with me now. I just want you now to take a few deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth, and I really want you to feel that when you're breathing in and out, that your belly rises and falls. So just try that with me now. So I'm going to breathe in and out with you. and if you can, I want you to make your out breath longer than the in breath. And that's all you need to do. I want you to practice this every day, whether or not you're feeling stressed. It's a really good habit to get into, is just to really focus on your breath, really be aware of it. Notice when your breath is shallow. So next time you're stressed, just notice what your breath's doing. You'll probably find that if you're breathing in more shallow ways, that your heart rate will be increased as well. So just really pay attention to yourself. The other thing that's great to do is, if you can and you've got access to it, go for a walk in nature. If you're near a wood or a forest, if you can do that every day, you'll naturally start breathing more deeply, more effectively. You know, it's one of the biggest gifts that we have, is the ability to breathe in and out and to share that with nature and the forest all around us. So I hope that's been helpful. If you want to know more about how to resolve conflict with your partner so that you can do that compassionately with respect, and you want to learn exact techniques and guidance that you can use to actually be able to move through conflict without things escalating into an argument, I have so much advice and help for you. My brand new Compassionate Conflict for Couples e-course is now available. You can do that in 4 weeks. It's a home-based course where you can do that with your partner from your own home, and it's condensing the basic, most essential, it's distilled the most essential guidance and advice that I give couples every single day, that I've given hundreds of couples to help them transform the communication in their relationships. I've condensed that all into a 4-week program. It's amazing value for money. If you were going to come and see me one-on-one, that would cost you alone at least £960. So this is all condensed into an affordable, really effective 4-week intensive program for you and your partner, where you will learn how to stop arguments from escalating, how to recognise and understand yours and your partner's triggers, how to be able to de-escalate arguments once they've started, how to communicate in healthy and effective ways so that you both feel heard, you both feel listened to, and you both come away from it feeling as though you've actually learnt something about each other, and that rather than conflict driving you apart, it's actually brought you closer together. So if you'd like more information on that, come over to my website, which is www.crystalwoodbridge.com. That's Krystal Woodbridge.com. You can download my course. It's only £99, so it's an absolute bargain. So come over to my website. You can download the course from there. I really look forward to speaking with you soon. Take care for now. Bye.